Hi, my name is Elijah Rubin. I'm a senior at St. Ignatius.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Hernandez, also a senior at St. Ignatius.
I'm John Paul Nunn, also a senior at St. Ignatius.
So this is a C-SPAN documentary filmed about education in our hometown of San Francisco.
ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. All simple as do, re, mi. ABC, 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me, girl.
U.S. high school students getting a bad grade from a new report that measures proficiency in reading, math, and science among 65 countries. The U.S. was 36.
Its ranking has dropped in all 3 subjects, now placing 26th in math, 21st in science, and 17th in reading.
Oh my God, we're in 21st place.
My name is Miss Curtin. I taught at Thurgood Marshall for 2 years in San Francisco, and this is my 3rd year at St. Ignatius.
Being a teacher at both a public school and a private school, what do you feel was a difference between public and private?
There are a lot of differences. I was at a really low-income, very ethnically diverse high school when I was teaching in public school. And because of the socioeconomic status of a lot of my students, that had a big impact on how they performed and their motivation. It also had a big impact on the kind of teachers we could keep at the school, and then also a lot of changes because people weren't sure how to get the most out of a population that struggles outside of school and how to make that, make them successful in school. So that's a big difference because here, obviously, we have a lot of affluent kids. We have a lot of people who have a ton of support at home. And so they're culturally, they've got a lot of resources to pull from and a lot of support in that sense. So that's the big difference, the amount of support and kind of that intrinsic motivation. There were some in public school, but it's a lot more common here.
In the United States, our education system tends to sort people. If you're a good student, the next dollar we invest tends to go to you. Think about the transition from high school to college. That's where the big sorting occurs. And if you're good enough to go to college, we invest 4, 5, 6 more years of education in your preparation. So we sort people out, and in the end, that's a good way to produce an elite, a top 10 or 15%. But if schools sort rather than educate or skilled people, you're bound to have failure in the middle and at the bottom of in this case, the income distribution in the United States.
My name is Mr. Ruff, and I've been principal here at SI. This is my 6th year, so I've completed 5. This is my 6th year.
What do you think the role of standardized tests are?
I think there's some really good ways that they can help and improve education. I also think they're limited in the sense that they are simply focusing on a standard, and sometimes the standard isn't the only thing that we want to evaluate or test. Obviously, how you do on your standards is important, but we're not about just having you check off a box that you've achieved a standard. We're trying to hopefully develop you so that you can literally change the world. And that doesn't just happen with you meeting standards. That happens with so many other parts of the educational process and program that we have to offer.
Did the government programs give enough for you to teach your students and help them succeed?
Yeah, it depends. So I taught English language learners and I taught regular English. And at times it felt like I didn't have enough. I think the biggest issue I found when I was teaching regular English classes included really large class sizes. At the first day that I showed up to the job, I had 42 kids in a class, sitting on windowsills.
We have been talking a lot about education and the differences between public and private education. For example, at St. Ignatius, 80% of the staff have at least a master's degree, whereas at Lowell, only 40% have an advanced degree.
While Lowell students attend the same caliber colleges as St. Ignatius students, the percentage of Lowell students who do attend is fewer than that of St. Ignatius students.
Lowell High School is ranked 43rd overall in the nation among public high schools, and as you can see, is still in need of funding and money to equip students with the tools necessary for a successful future.
Education should be the #1 priority for Congress in 2014.
Congress can do this by providing more funding and by finding a different way to evaluate teachers and students. Congress can help to improve public education throughout the United States.